right, so we're gonna jump right into this video. So iPhone 15, the entire lineup, it's been out for roughly a week. I've had this phone a little over a week, I'd say close to 10 days. And so I've had a chance to use this phone every day. It's my daily driver device. And the first thing I wanna say that really stands out to me is the design. All right, I'm a real big fan of the rounded edges on this device. I like the titanium. On paper, it doesn't look like this phone is going to be that much lighter than the 14 Pro Max, which I'm coming from. But when you get it in your hands, caseless, this thing is super, super light. And I decided to go with the natural titanium 512 storage. I do shoot photos and videos on this channel with this phone, so 512 is just a healthy, safe amount of storage that I decided to go with. The cat's been out of the bag for a long time that Apple was probably going to switch to USB-C, but nevertheless, the addition of the USB-C port on this bad boy has just made it so much easier to carry around. Just one less cord, two less cords. The clutter has been reduced, and so it's not new technology, but it is good, I guess, have it on the iPhone, just the quality of life feature. So all the Samsung people out there, you know, that you've had this for a long time, us Apple users, let us have our fun. We're super excited to have USB-C on this device. But overall, in terms of design, it looks almost identical to the 14 Pro Max and 13 Pro Max. Maybe the dynamic island is a dead giveaway that it's a 14 or a 15, but if you had the 14 and 15 side by side, the only really thing that's going to give it away is maybe the action button, and maybe, if you can tell, the edges are curved in the front. But looks the same, but I can vouch this year's design definitely feels different, and that's one of the main things that kind of sticks out when you pick up this device. It just feels like a different iPhone. Next, we're going to talk about the coveted battery life. All right, this is probably the biggest topic people talk about when it comes to their phones is battery life, and they compare it to last year's battery, the year before's battery. This year, a lot of people are comparing it to the 13 and the 11. The 13 Pro Max and the 11 series just had better batteries overall. Again, I've only had this phone for a week, so just knowing how phones work, especially Apple products, in the first couple of weeks, it's still trying to figure out your charge cycle, your usage for apps. I can say the battery's been so-so my first week with it, but I know it's probably going to improve over time. Again, I've only had it for about 10 days. My average screen on time is about 6 to 7 hours. I do work a full-time job, so during the day I'm not on my phone all the time. The battery may drain if I'm doing super intensive tasks. Maybe it's the weekend and I'm spending a little bit more time on my phone than normal. But the regular 9 to 5, the battery life, it gets me through the day. I get home with plenty of charge to still do things, watch football, basketball, stream videos. And I'm a normal person. Before I go to bed, slap this thing on the charger with the optimized charge feature. It does its magic and charges it at the right time. Wake up, my phone's at 100, and I just go about my day. So I didn't experience too much battery issues on the 14 Pro Max. I don't think I'm going to experience too much battery issues on the 15 Pro Max. Again, the average consumer probably keeps their phone for 2 to 3 years. Apple offers battery replacements. You can get Apple Care. If your battery really wears down, there's things in place where you can get it replaced. And for tech YouTube or the connoisseur of Apple, you're probably only waiting a year before you get a new device anyways. Just use your battery. By the time the upgrade comes out, you're probably going to switch and get a fresh battery anyways. And so all the hate that I see on YouTube about batteries, I just don't understand. I feel like a majority of those people that are hating, they're going to get a new device anyways, or they have 2 or 3 other devices that they're using and rating and comparing on their channel. And the iPhone might not even be their daily driver. So battery life, so-so, but I know it's going to improve over time. And Apple does a really good job of addressing issues with the battery through software. So if something really is wrong with the battery, if there's software that's killing it or there's bugs, they do a good job to fix it. Overall, I think this battery is going to be just fine, and so far hasn't given me too many issues. Next, we're going to jump into camera. All right, so I think the cameras on these things, this is really where iPhone shines. Now, there's gonna be the Samsung versus Pixel versus iPhone debate, but I really only primarily use Apple products, so I can't really judge it too much to Samsung, Pixel, any of the other devices. But I'll say, you get what you pay for. The camera quality is great. You've got 4K, you've got the new 5x zoom on portrait. There's some other zoom options available with the camera this year as well. But for the main thing that I use this for, I primarily shoot video of my family. I shoot some videos for my channel. I take photos of my family. Just everyday regular use of the camera. This thing hasn't failed me. And so obviously if you want to do some ginormous production or Hollywood style, there's other cameras out there. But I will say the mobile camera is getting pretty competitive. And so if you know what you're doing with the camera, if you know how to operate software, color grade, all that stuff, I think you can get a lot of value out of the video and picture quality that the 15 Pro Max, or honestly 14, 13, and maybe the 12 cameras have all been really crispy and smooth, with maybe the addition of a few new features, you know, the ability to change portrait, the action mode I think that came out in the 13 or 14. But other than that, you're gonna get just that classic, steady, stable, reliable camera. And when it comes to wanting to capture something quickly or capture something that's moving or on the go, Apple's just reliable with their camera. It's just that simple. Now, in terms of software, we're on iOS 17. Now, I was on the betas for the 14 Pro Max on iOS 17, and I was super impressed with it. I didn't have any crashing, any bugs really, or battery issues. So I was super confident coming to the iPhone lineup that iOS 17 was probably gonna run pretty good for this device. It is the launch software, and so typically the newer model just runs that year's software a little bit better, but it's super snappy and responsive and smooth. I haven't had any crashes or bugs. For the most part, the software is really good. There's tons of new features. Maybe I'll make an iOS 17 guide, or like what are my favorite features of iOS 17, if you guys want to check that out. It just works. I guess that's the best part. It works, it's snappy, it's responsive. I don't really know what else you'd want from software. I mean, it works. iOS 17, good job, it works for me. Then, we're gonna move on to, along with USB-C, Apple decided to bring the action button to the iPhone. And I think this is just exclusive to the Pro series, the action button. So if you have the 15 or the 15 Plus, you're not gonna get this button. And honestly, my first week with this phone, I haven't really used the action button very much. I just haven't found anything to use with it just yet. So maybe drop in the comments below, what do you use the action button for? I just use it as the mute switch. Right now, it's hold to press, single action button. I think Apple missed out on an opportunity to have a single, double, or triple move set here with the action button, but I need to spend more time with the action button and see what I would actually use it for. I think there will be some value out of it once I actually sit down and figure out what I want to do with it. I would like to see a 1, 2, or 3 press option out of the action button, but again, I think that's something that can come in software. I don't think that will be that hard to implement. Just more features out of it might get people to take a risk if they can at least have 3 top favorite actions they want to do. I think it's hard to just pick one, and so I've just left it alone for now. But I do like that it's there. It's better to have it and not have it, and then figure out what I want to do with it later. But honestly, it is a nice addition. I just like a solid button, and even if you're just using it for the mute switch, I think just press and hold is better than flicking a little flicker thing that's here that they normally have. And so I actually like it just for muting. It's fine for that too. So haven't found a use. Let me know what you guys use the action button for. When I figure out what I use this button for, I might make a video on the top uses for the action button. But for right now, I haven't had time to really mess around with it too much. One of the main issues that's kind of a controversy with this device, we're not going to talk about it too much in this video, but there's been rumors and people out there, maybe I guess they're not rumors, but there's been people out there claiming their phone is overheating. But at the time of this video, Apple actually has addressed some overheating issues. They think it's due to software, so there is an update or a fix on the way through iOS. So if your phone is overheating, it's getting warmer than normal, hang on. Apple is bringing something to the rescue to address that. But for the most part, for me, I haven't experienced any overheating. I use GPS, I stream videos, I take pictures, I shoot videos, I've played some handheld games, and outside of the first few days when I got the device setting it up on iCloud, it really doesn't get that hot, and I haven't got the warning that your phone is malfunctioning. So that's really my first week with the iPhone 15 Pro Max Natural Titanium. I'm loving it. If you think you should upgrade, check out my video on how to make informed purchases when it comes to Apple products. Great, solid device, solid, snappy software. Apple did a good job with this phone, the design. I really like it, but might not be for you. But that's all I really can say. You're gonna have to make an informed decision if you want to upgrade. I'm not gonna tell you how to spend your money. I'm just not gonna do it. But if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Much appreciated, helps the channel. If you found it enjoyable, if you like the content, you want to see more tech content, go ahead and subscribe, turn on the notification bell so you know when new videos go live. Appreciate you sticking to the end of this video. Like always, be blessed. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.